See, well, hold on for me, Doc. Let's go to Zambia because we know that our president is in Zambia. Even though we're getting some very good feedback regarding the business conversations and the bilateral relations, etc., we're also getting our president being teased that he's wearing a blouse. Our very own Fugu is now being considered a blouse by some few Zambians. Master Chimbala is a social media development consultant and is in Lusaka, Zambia, where presently there is a conference happening between the two countries. Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you. Glad to be on the platform, and thanks again for having me.
We know that Zambians received our president very well, and then just when we were jubilating here, the conversation about our cherished Fugu or smoke came up. How did that happen?
Well, what a conversation. And stuff that emanates from social media are difficult to measure or evaluate because even when it comes from 2-3 people out of a million, it sounds like an entire nation has a particular conversation and an opinion. But I think from the measure of what we've seen, it's really just individual questions of, oh, really? It's a cultural shock. And I was in Abokobi 25 years ago in August, enjoying a conference, and I was marveled for the first time to see culture in its diversity in Ghana. And so we differ, our levels of experience and exposure, and also how, therefore, we interact with differences. But I also know that within the space of conversation, it's a lot of the fun and the joking nature in how other people have taken it. But again, having an intercultural experience, you get to question, okay, how far do you go? And stuff like that. But it's a lot more being a place of joy and all that. But Ghana experiences and exhibits a brilliant array of culture in many ways, including the wardrobe. And that's something to be celebrated, but yet to be learned and appreciated adequately by the Southerners on this side of the equator.
So really, it's nothing serious, you say?
No, hardly. It's premised on, it's a harsh word to call people ignorant and perhaps unfair. So I'll try to find an alternative word, deceptively perhaps. But it's something that somebody encounters a shock because of and I say this in my article, which I put on my website and social media as well, that you see, we are a product of colonization, and Africa has hardly endured, sustained, and achieved victoriously and triumphantly the necessary decolonization to learn and appreciate what local culture means, whether language, conversation, relationships, values, and the likes. This is a long conversation. So putting on a suit, whatever we call it, the other suit, which is not our suit, on the continent, is treated more corporate. It represents civilization. It represents education, which you and I know that's just nonsense. Of course, it's just total nonsense. Yeah, so we are talking about a continuous struggle for liberation. And that's what I frame this. So the innocence that is found behind the ignorance must be acknowledged and appreciated, because these are not ill-meaning people. These are individuals, very few, who encounter what is shocking to them if they are to perceive what is the ideal nature of corporate or presidential and the likes, which is the opposite. And what I say in my article is the insistence to say that those who know their identity stand with it and hold on to it no matter the room, and they get to therefore define the meaning of the room, as opposed to when you're in Rome, behave like the Romans. Identity doesn't work that way. You don't give up on your brand and your identity. So that's the viewpoint. But I understand really the measure of conversation on social media, being social media as it is.
Would you ever wear a smock?
I think I had one. I was in Accra running a conference, training some colleagues from women organizations, and I attended a conference there. I just don't know where it went. I had versions of it, and of course materials bought from the market. So would I wear? I would own several of them. And if you make a deal, Sixtus, to send me a few, by the way.
We'll try and arrange that. But let's talk about this conversation around visa-free travels from Zambia to Ghana and from Ghana to Zambia. How has the news been received back at home?
Tremendous. This is a brilliant move. The general awakening of our citizenry, and I know it's a shared spirit across Africa. So speaking for Zambia, people have always had this pending desire to connect with the rest of the family of Africa on a social, cultural, political, economic level, and so forth. So the move, the gesture of our president from Ghana, visiting Zambia, speaking to parliamentarians, and also entering into these multi-level and multi-sectorial agreements and memoranda of agreements through our president and with the country is received extremely positively. And we have, as a country, always treasured Ghana in the manner you had alluded to earlier, the big brother and so forth. And the cadre of legacy and history that Ghana represents on the continent, and specifically to us through your founding president and leader and Dr. Kaunda for Zambia, is symbolized in our education and many, many things. So this is a long overdue enhancement of relationship, partnership, and a more familial reactivation of two entities that should be one in a great deal.
And then let's talk about opportunities that exist in your country for Ghanaian businesses and vice versa. What did you pick from the conferences that are ongoing?
So other than the specifics that may come one step after the other in terms of the agreements that have been entered and others that will follow, the general spirit is to open the border. And border is not just a visa, is that, as you put it, it's the entrepreneurial opportunities. So in the pursuit to innovation, in the pursuit to technology, or even the spike of AI and the likes, and many other avenues, including education, the spirit is that there is a huge gap remaining quite virgin on the economics of Zambia. So we have an influx. That's the past 10 to 15 years of the banking sector, for example, who never get into a country if there's no business, because banking is based on business. So we have a lot of financial activities taking place. We have just a newly opened vehicle and vein, the Lobito corridor through Angola and the likes, because of the multiple opportunities that exist from natural resources, starting with the minerals of multitude in nature, but also on the social level, but also economics. I see the exchange, the diversity that Ghana carries versus Zambia, and the distinction between the two presents opportunity in terms of cultural exchange, education exchange, tourism expansion. Imagine a package that represents the best of West Africa, Ghana, and the best of Southern and Central Africa, Zambia. That spirits a different mindset around tourism and branding of Africa through these entities. So I see a multitude of those, but also Zambia culturally, we have had a very open space of tolerance. I think because of how we were nurtured politically from independence in 1964 through Dr. Kaunda, the idea of living with other people. So we don't have a hardship to connect with societies. We've lived with all sorts of ethnicities and communities from around the whole world, from Senegal, Somalia, Ethiopia, all the way down south to Congo DR and Rwanda for the past, since 1993, and all that. South Africa, both two presidents lived here until liberation and so forth. So there's that sense of a cosmopolitan spirit of accommodativeness and tolerance. And so we do have colleagues that I do know who run schools, friends who run some shops within town, others larger business entities and the like. So I believe that Zambia is a fertile place, but having known the little I do know, appreciatively so, of Ghana, I do know that there's marvelous opportunities that exist that will become productively, positive for both countries, but also other entities. When two entities come together, they do produce a different array of identity, which presents a unique avenue as well beyond the singular two entities. So I think this is a fantastic, prosperous opportunity for both countries.
Asa Chimbala, social media development consultant, Lusaka, Zambia. Thank you for your time. On a lighter note, when is the funeral of your former head of state?
That's not a lighter note. You want to rephrase your question? That's hardly a lighter note.
Have you buried your former president?
Well,
because we have buried all our former presidents. So,
well, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Our calendar still remains. Thank you indeed, and our calendar still remains open. Politics, as you would have followed here and there, politics had and perhaps continue to mar the journey of this funeral, but a lot of other intricacies and nuances. We are in March. No, this is February. And we are just months away from an election that takes place on the 13th of August, 2026. And you can almost guess the multitude of political aspirations that may be interlinked to this entire journey, and other pre-existing political issues and nuances that have, in a way, facilitated decision-making around this funeral. So I would never be able to answer the question. The politics lie very back and forth between several parties. So that's a conversation still under conversation.
Mr. Chimbala, thank you very much indeed for your time, and grateful. We'll find you a smoke. What color do you prefer?
I prefer the colors that are closer to Ghana. Then I can remember my good times at Abokobi in Accra,
right,
and be able to have the pride of the Western African side as we celebrate with 3FM.
I will bring you a similar thing like what our president wore, to see if your people will say it's still a blouse.
Look,
have a nice one.
Say that I'm media, I'm arts. I will celebrate. I mean, I don't need opinions to define, and that's the point. If we have to change the future for the better,
right,
we cannot be in accordance with consensus. I hate consensus.
How do you propose we wrap up this beef? Should it be in a football match, or should it be in some other contest? You know, the Nigerians and I have been at this jollof war for decades. How do you want yours to end?
Well, I think we need to package this very well. I've come across this battle you've referred to between Ghana and Nigeria in several countries where I've been. As long as our two brethren have caught up in a particular meeting or conference or workshop, there's always that, we are better, you are better, and whatever, you know. So
right,
we need to frame this so well so that it is more conclusive. Then we have an actual triumphant conclusion, because I see that your version with Nigeria is endless.
Right.
It's also got its own positives, but I would love ours to be very conclusive. And I guess I'll leave it up to further conversations to frame the final battle. But allow me to say this.
Right.
There is a greater depth of beauty that has been ignited through this conversation. A few extremes might notice disrespect here and there.
Right.
That must be ignored.
Right.
The vibe is the positivity to hold hands and say, what? And find the joy to celebrate the sense of oneness and identity that simulates as we come together. So there's greater beauty beyond all the noises and all that.
Thank you.
And I think what you've just said, I take it so much more seriously that it kind of builds up to something beautiful.
Great.
A football match or whatever, let's do this.
We'll do it. Good. We'll do it. Mr. Chimbala, thank you very much indeed. I'm playing something from Kalindula. Kalindula. Yeah.
Excellent. That's my favorite genre of music in that.
Great. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Dr. Zato, I'll bring this to you now. What say ye? This is our smoke. This is our fugu. As a chief up north, and I know you of northern ancestry as well. What do you have to say about this Ghana-Zambia conversation?
If this was not, let me say, by accident, I would have said it was the smartest marketing strategy that anybody could come up with.
Right.
I don't think any marketing company anywhere in the world could have dreamt a perfect storm to market the fugu. Nobody. Secondly, Ghanaians did something that I've become so proud of this country. One, Ghanaians rose up, and you've seen it. NDC, MPP, well, they are the only people that matter. The others don't matter. UP, whatever, they don't matter.
Oh.
They rose up. They put aside their partisanship, and everybody ran to defend of the president. Like, how dare you? When we did that, we say that our politics ends at the water's edge. That when our president is on the world stage conducting diplomacy, and we don't care whatever it is, we stand by him and we support him. That look, we will not. That secondly, that we have a natural right to mock our president, to criticize our president, to be mean to our president, sometimes even insult our president. But you are not a Ghanaian and you do not have that right. And that when you do that, will come after you. By doing all this, we show that our politics has matured and that we will never try to sacrifice our pride or nationalism for cheap partisan interest. And for me, that is it. By wearing that smoke, the president has done the biggest sale, the biggest marketing for the smoke. And I'm happy that Ghanaians rose up to the defense of the president, to the defense of our smoke, to the defense of our national identity. In fact, yesterday I saw somebody literally showed all the presidents of Ghana in smoke. And you remember the 1997 when, was it 99 when Clinton visited car here? And Clinton,
was 1997.
97, yes.
Yes, Bill Clinton and Rodham Clinton.
Yeah. So for me, immediately, whether the person or the people intended to mock the president, whether they intended to criticize him, what they have done is that they say the global star that has marketed this material and has made us proud. In fact, yesterday I saw the EU delegation in Ghana on their social media page. All of them were smoke. Literally, like it was. For me, it ended up being one of the biggest achievements of this visit. Of course, there's a few things we can talk about, but to market the FUGU on that stage and internationally and everywhere was brilliant.
You hold on for me. Did I hear you say that it's MPP and DC that matters, the UP, and because Solo is not happy about that. Solo, you don't matter actually.
I'm very surprised. Zato, did you really say that the UP does not matter in Ghana?
He said he's not here to make you happy.
No, I don't have any problem with that. But your party, the MPP, that has a lot of cracks. You believe that they have any legs to stand on in 2028? Then you must be living in a different planet. What is so attractive about this political party called the New Patriotic for you to think that it is the MPP and the NDC that matters? You see, he as a political science lecturer must know that election 2028 will be, all of us will be starting from ground zero or point zero, with nobody having advantage over the other. So what makes you think? You see, this kind of mindset is what has retarded our growth as a country. And I don't want Zato to continue on that tangent because it does not befit him. Who knows whether even in 2028 he will be begging the UP to contest on our tickets.
Let's talk about smoke.
As for smoke, it tells you how Africa, we have allowed the West to dictate the pace, imperialism. Other than that, Zambia itself, they have traditional wear.
That's right.
I mean,
pretty much like what you're wearing.
Yeah, Chitinga and so on and so forth. So a simple Google of the attire the president was wearing would have educated them. But you know, with these Gen Zs, once they are not familiar with something, you cannot begrudge them. But I love it from a different angle. At least it has brought to fore FUGU on international stage. Now, people who did not know, Ghanaians have also taken advantage to educate them.
Right.
It means that when AU leaders go to Addis Ababa and other places, they must begin to be wearing their traditional attire. I saw their president from day one till day, always in jacket or suit, as you call it.
It is his choice, is it not?
You come to our country, even the lawyers, Braco Powers and go.
Yeah,
they go to court, this scorchy weather with all the things. Black, white, with wig. I don't get it.
What is the wig made from? Do you know?
I don't know. I don't know.
Braco, what is it made from?
The wig.
Yeah.
Sometimes there are other people who make it from the skin of animals.
Hey, animal skin.
Yes. And, you know. So and the others also they make it from fiber.
Okay.
Like fiber.
Plastic.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So and sometimes also the others who make it from horsetail.
Horsetail. I see. Solo, you have your answer.
Can you imagine? They are killing all the horses to make babes for the
Oh,
lawyers.
Solo, come on. Don't put it that way.
In this time,
It sounds cruel. Don't put it that way.
But the point is that we need to change some of the things. Sometimes when I go to court and I look at them, and these courts, a lot of the courtrooms don't even have air conditioning.
Yeah.
You see people are sweating. What is so fast? Can't we do something localized?
Sixtus was suggesting this morning that we should at least localize the beep so that we can use these Woodin,
something like that.
GTP, Printex.
If you want them to be uniform, you
Tie
can
and
have
dye.
special clothing for them.
Yeah.
That is local in nature, creating businesses there. Look at the number of lawyers we have. If all of them are going to go to the GTPs, to the other textile manufacturing companies to buy a particular cloth.
At the risk of somebody turning up with a pink and violet beep.
No, but you can give them a standardized colors.
Somebody will just show up and surprise the judge.
But anyway, but I don't believe that we must still be going the Western way.
I hear you. Braco Powers Council, take a bite on this one for us. Namibia, Ghana, the FUGU conversation, but then the bigger picture of what this means for us as both countries. Zambia, sorry, not Namibia. What this means for both countries in terms of business, in terms of bilateral relations, etc. What's on your mind?
So this few days, the conversation online has been about the FUGU.
That's right.
And as a student of sociology, I think it was revealing, because when you study sociology, it tells you that we all have different sociological purview. So when you meet people who are from different jurisdictions, they may have different sociological purview. So they may not understand what you understand, and what you appreciate, they may not appreciate. So when people come from a place of ignorance and ask pertinent questions, you don't laugh at them. You point out or you educate them. But
Chimbala said there was cultural shock.
That's it.
Anthropology.
So exactly. Cultural shock. So, but most of the reactions I read online with regard to this whole debate was to describe them as backwards, ignorance. You know, people use some indescribable and unprintable words to describe just the questions that the Zambians were asking. I think our approach wasn't the best, because these are people who were looking for an opportunity to be educated. And we shouldn't have started the entire conversation by, going after them. So we lost the whole debate. But later on, we then had to start to educate them, which was something we should have done in the beginning. You get it? I think he has given us an opportunity, and as Solo hinted that he has given our FUGU a brand globally. Right. And it's one of the conversations that we should be thankful for, because it's now even indigenous Ghanaians who are not used to wearing the FUGU. Today, they are speaking about the FUGU. I've been wearing the FUGU everywhere. Even when I go to Nigeria, I wear it.
Right.
And Nigerians, when they see the FUGU, they know that this is from Ghana.
From Ghana.
You get it? So I think we must be able to market our own.
There was a day, I think, somewhere, was it in the UK, somewhere, I was on a train.
Okay.
I can't remember exactly where. And I was wearing this dapila,
Okay.
the hat that is made for the FUGU as well. And somebody just approached me, started speaking Yoruba with me, assuming that I am a Yoruba.
Exactly. Because they are
So
used
he
to wearing
went
that.
on and on. I'm partly Ghana, so I could
Understand
some of what he was saying.
Yes.
So, but I couldn't speak
No,
back.
you couldn't reply.
So I just told him that I'm from Ghana. I'm
Exactly.
not from there. I said, Egbami.
Exactly. So the FUGU is a major brand which we should all be proud of. I don't think the origin of the FUGU should be a problem or should stop us from marketing.
I think it's become nationalized now
exactly.
because it comes from the northern part of Ghana.
That is it.
No debate about it.
That is it.
But if you go to our various royal gates, whether they are Chims, whether the Gans, whether Fantis, whether people from the Everland, Izimas, everybody who has something to do with a stool or a skin feels that this is the apparel that I must wear.
You get it. And Johnny, I think we should be able to get to a point where we're able to obtain a GI, a geographical indication for the FUGU, as we currently have for Kinte. We should be able to And this is a challenge to the producers. Let's go for the quality. Let's be known.
Because they are
quality.
fakes.
They are fake in the system.
Yeah.
Very light.
Yeah.
When you buy them within a month or
It's like
two,
plastic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You
Start
get-
shrinking.
Exactly. So let's get there. The thing is that if we are producing them from the northern region
Right.
or the northern zone, they should be known for quality.
Have you noticed also that you can go back to the Dr. Nkrumah days, the Big Six, his mates, Bedema, and all those politicians, they wore fugu.
They wore fugu.
He used fugu to declare Ghana's
Exactly.
independence.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly.
And then comes Chairman Rawlings, as he was known then,
Yeah.
Flight Lieutenant General Rawlings,
Exactly.
wearing it with his long sleeve shirts. He would choose an appropriate color, the blue shirt, a white shirt, whatever it is.
Yes.
And then comes President Hila Liman,
Yes.
who originally is from Golu. He also came
wore
to
it,
wear it. Up until this day, you find most politicians.
Well,
That's what they wear.
Yes.
You know?
In fact, Johnny, you remember that those is when we're doing
Student politics.
You see the student politics.
That's the apparel. That's the
Exactly.
identity.
Exactly. When you see a student putting on the fugu, you know that he's a politician.
He's a politician.
You know, so
Yeah.
the fugu is a national attire, and we must be able to. I'm saying that this is a challenge I'm throwing to the tourism, the Ministry
Yes.
of Tourism, that try and secure a GI, a geographical indication for the fugu,
Right.
so that across the world we'll be able to market it. The Zambian debate had given us a platform.
That's right.
A major platform to market
Yes.
the fugu. You get it, and you should not isolate yourself because you are not from the area,
Right.
and because fugu is not coming from your area. There are some certain things that have attained some notoriety to the point that when, as a Ghanaian, even though you may not be coming from the locality, you will feel proud
yes.
to be associated with the product, and this is one of them.
It is one indeed.
I mean, just to add to it, it is a reason why Mr. Alan Chamati in 2024 launched the Friday Web.
Right.
I mean, it was to feed all these
His
things.
Friday where I think started way before
No,
2024.
No,
It was
no,
before
2004, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
that's what I
yes,
said.
yes.
Before time.
So
The Friday
it was
Web.
Alan that launched it.
Yes, it's
It was
and he's been
deliberate.
true to it.
Yes.
He's been true. Every
And
day you find him wearing some
exactly.
African print.
I mean, we must promote.
It inspired me to start wearing, to take
Exactly.
off my suit.
I mean, suit. Anytime I wear suit. The last time I tried wearing suit.
But you wore the last time.
That was the, you know, in
But
a long while.
it look good on you.
No, I don't want to. I believe in this. Look at one. Look at it. Once in a while, you can put on your suit, but you don't have any choice because of the work that you do.
It's his uniform. eh?
It's a uniform.
Deliberately, they have stuck you on the suit button. But it, apart from its uniqueness, it promotes business, local business.
Yeah.
Yes.
So why must we always be interested in going for foreign attires when our local attires could do? The ladies especially, I always encourage them. Look, when they wear their skirt and what's it, the kaba.
Right.
Yes.
Their oh my goodness, African beauty, they look so good in it.
But most young ladies don't have
They
kabaya
don't have
slits.
kaba, exactly. They don't
And-
have.
and-
They
I
have
can
they have
tell-
club top and jeans.
Exactly.
And they always want to go on lunch dates. They can't go for dinner
because they want
because
to
they don't
expose
have
something.
because they don't have gowns to wear.
Can you imagine?
There's another part of the conversation that we may be glossing over: the pricing.
Right.
When it comes to African wear, fugu and co.
Right.
In fact, when and I don't know whether it is so peculiar of Ghanaians, when they realize there's a demand,
Then
driving
they
demand,
increase
Right.
then you realize that the price will it will just move, it will
That's
just
right.
go up.
That's right.
Fugu, let us be able to encourage other people to wear it.
Exactly.
African wear. Sometimes you contract a tailor or a seamstress to just put
Yes.
just fit
Yes.
something on you, then the prices they will be quoting.
Yes.
You know, we have fine tailors and seamstresses in this
Right.
country. They are very good. When you look
Grandpa
at
is
their
one.
work,
So now fashions is one.
exactly. When you look at their work, in fact, it is out of the world. So, but the pricing, at least let's stop taking advantage of our own people.
Well, I pray that we find